Hi chess friends, today we are going to witness the power of pins. Anish plays with white, Gukesh is black. Anish starts with e4, Gukesh plays c5, knight f3, knight c6, d4, c pawn takes d4 pawn, knight takes d4 pawn, e6. This opening is called as knight c3, queen c7, bishop e3, a6, queen f3. Out of the opening book. Bishop e2 is the book continuation. Knight f6, castle on the queen side. Knight e5, attacks the queen. Queen g3, moves it to safety and pins black's knight at e5. b5, if Anish tries to win the knight by bishop f4, knight h5, bishop takes knight, knight takes queen, bishop takes queen, knight takes rook, game is equal. Back to the position. Game continued as f4, attacks the knight. Knight e g4, counter attacks the bishop. Bishop d2, b4, attacks the knight. Knight a4, moves to safety. e5 is coming. Knight on f6 has to move. Then the knight on g4 will not be protected. So h5 to protect the knight. Bishop d3 protects white's pawn at e4 and connecting both the rooks. Bishop b7. Slightly better is queen a5, h3. Anish wants to remove the annoying knight on g4. Knight h6. h4 is slightly better. Queen e1, h4. Pawn moves to h4 square without protection. If queen takes h4 pawn, knight takes e4 pawn, queen e1, knight takes bishop, queen takes knight. Black is slightly better. Back to the position. So Anish played king b1, moves the king away from queen's file. Rook b8, rook f1, preparing f5 to open the e file to attack the king. Bishop e7, g4 was played. Better is queen e2, d5, e pawn takes d pawn, bishop takes d pawn. White is slightly better. Back to the position. g4 reduces white's advantage. H pawn takes g4 pawn in passant. Queen takes g3 pawn, targeting the g7 pawn. Knight takes e4 pawn, attacks the queen. Queen takes g7 pawn was played. Better is bishop takes knight, bishop takes bishop, queen takes g7 pawn. This is good for white because the bishop cannot come to f6 square. Rook h7, queen e5, queen takes queen, f pawn takes queen. Black is slightly better. Back to the position. Queen takes g7 pawn is a blunder. Now the queen is targeted by black's pieces and the rook moves into the white's territory. Bishop f6. All the pieces are protected. Bishop was protected by knight. Rook is protected by bishop. Knight is protected by rook. Queen g1. Rook g8 attacks the queen. Queen e3. Rook g3 attacks the queen again. Knight f3 blocks the queen. Knight was inactive on h6 square. Knight f5. Now the knight is active. Queen e1. Rook takes knight. Rook takes rook. Knight takes bishop. Check. Rook takes knight. Bishop takes rook. Bishop takes knight. Bishop cannot be taken as the e pawn is pinned to king. Gets back the piece. Pause the video and find the brilliant move played by Gukesh. Compliments on finding the move. The move is bishop c3. The beauty of the move is it pins the rook to queen and rook pins the king. The bishop cannot be taken by b pawn or knight. If b pawn takes bishop, p pawn takes c pawn check, king a1, c pawn takes rook, queen takes pawn, queen c4 threatens, queen f1 checkmate, or the next move bishop d5 threatens queen a2 checkmate. White will lose the queen or the game. Back to the position. Or if knight takes bishop, b pawn takes knight, b3, c pawn takes rook, queen takes d pawn, e pawn takes bishop. Black has extra rook and bishop, which is winning for Gukesh. So Anish played bishop d3. Queen takes f4 pawn. Anish resigned. The game would have continued as king c1, bishop takes rook, queen takes bishop, queen d4, preparing queen g1, queen g5, otherwise checkmate follows. Rook b5, queen g3, queen e3 check, king b1, queen d2, queen g1, rook e5. Now the white queen cannot be saved, as rook e1 is coming and the queen will be lost. So Anish resigned. If you like the video, share, subscribe and like. Thank you. Now it's puzzle time. Wait to play and win. Post your solutions in the comment section.